A lot of clients think, maybe they don't want to start the pre-approval process because they're saving up their down payment. They think they need 20% down because that's how their parents bought a house. You had to put 20% down. It's just not the case anymore. You can buy a home with 3% down, 3.5% down, or even in some cases, 0% down.
That's right, the times they are changing. The home prices 20 years ago when Grandpa bought a home are much higher than they used to be. And so 20% of that number is much higher than it used to be. So you don't have to wait is the point. You don't have to wait until you have that much money to put down. It just makes a slight difference in your monthly payment, but it still makes home ownership attainable and it puts you in a position where you can maybe do it sooner.
A great example is statistically over the last 12 months, home values have increased 25%.
Really?
Yeah. And imagine if that person bought the home a year ago versus waiting, they lost out 25% of gain. And here's a pro tip. If you purchased a home over the last couple of years and you put 5% down or 10% down and you're paying PMI insurance, check with your lender, check your statement, because if you're paying PMI insurance, there's a really good chance with all this market growth we've seen that you have that 20% equity now where you can call your lender up and say, hey, I shouldn't be paying PMI anymore. I feel like I've got 20% equity in my home, and they will remove the PMI from your payment every month.
And on that note, if a few years ago you purchased a home with an FHA loan, FHA PMI never goes away. I mean, it does, but there's a lot of detail that goes into that. So if you have an FHA loan that you've recently done, it might be a great opportunity to refinance to a conventional loan where you can take advantage of having that equity and removing the PMI for the remainder of your term.
And just speaking of all this extra equity that people have, if they were wanting to do home improvements or pay off some high rate, interest rate credit cards or things like that, now's a great time to look into tapping into some of that equity and taking advantage of these great low rates right now.